Now, in terms of the JRPG mechanic that I think is dope, this is going to be one of those weeks where it may be a hot take because I think this is something that people don't like. I do. And what I'm talking about is cliffhangers at the end of games, or even in general, cliffhangers in general, like I like, but I know a lot of people don't. And I feel like I know that people don't like it is because, at least from what I see it often in, is in manga. Usually a lot of manga chapters end with cliffhangers. And for me, like the way I see cliffhangers is a full positive, where I'm like, yeah, end the chapter off with a cliffhanger because that's going to make me want to read the next chapter. That's literally the goal of the mangaka, to kind of make you keep reading the series. And so whenever a chapter ends with a cliffhanger, I'm like, dope, I want to read the next chapter. But at least from what I've seen online, at least, a lot of people don't like cliffhangers. But to speak specifically about cliffhangers in terms of JRPGs, there's been a few of them where they had jaw-dropping cliffhangers for me, where I was literally playing the game, they said something, and the game just ended, and I was like, what the fuck, are we actually ending like this? And so I'll be talking a bit about those. And I guess before I say the game or like the cliffhanger part, I will preface that it's going to be a spoiler, and then you can skip past it. So yeah, I won't just be spoiling indiscriminately. I will tell you when I'm about to spoil. But yeah, I just think cliffhangers are just a good way of keeping interest. And I feel like the whole point of art, and that includes games, is to get an emotional reaction out of people, whether it's a good reaction or bad reaction, I'm not sure. And so cliffhangers, I think, usually do have an emotional reaction. Like I just mentioned, there are certain games that literally were jaw-dropping to me, and so the fact that it's able to get that kind of reaction out of me, I think is successful. And if they're able to do that, I just think it's a good thing, and I don't think it's a negative thing at all. So to actually get into the games I'm talking about, there are two that I specifically remember. One is Trails of Cold Steel 2, and the other is Kingdom Hearts 3. So in terms of Trails of Cold Steel 2, I'll be spoiling it. If you don't want to get spoiled, or if you don't want to get spoiled about any game, you could just probably skip to the next segment. Or if you don't want to get spoiled about this specific game, just skip like a couple minutes probably. But in Trails of Cold Steel 2, pretty much what happens is you are fighting a character who's an enemy. And he wasn't really like a villain in the game. He was just like a guy. But as you're fighting them, I believe here it's pretty much revealed that not only are they the main villain of the series, but it's revealed that they are your father, like in terms of like who you are as the main character. So that was like a huge fucking moment. But the funny thing is not like it was leading up to a moment where it felt like it was an ending. He pretty much just dropped that knowledge bomb. The screen went black, and then I think it said like to be continued or something, or the credits started rolling. And I remember when I was playing, I was like, what the fuck? Did it really end like that? And I was so happy because I had, the day before getting to that part, I had ordered Trails of Cold Steel 3 on Amazon. And I think maybe like 20 minutes before ending the game, I had gotten the game delivered. So I had it like right there with me. And so right when the game ended, I was like, thank fuck, I can just put in Trails of Cold Steel 3 and play it right away. And it was like, when that ending of the game, I thought was fantastic. I loved it. I bet a lot of people hate the ending because people don't like cliffhangers. They want everything to be like tied and like perfectly. And like, from what I can tell, a lot of people like being spoon fed everything in terms of like that type of stuff. I don't. I think like if there's an open ending or if there's a cliffhanger, that's completely fine, whatever the intention of like the creator is. And for me, at least, the way I think about it is, if the ending is not the actual ending of the series, that's cool. The cliffhanger is cool. So for example, if that happened at the end of the Trail series and there was never a Trails game again, that'd be fucking weird. Like, that's just like trying to get an emotion out of the audience for no really real reason. But because we know there is a Trails of Cold Steel 3, and at least for me, because it was already out, there's absolutely no problem, because like, yeah, it was just like a cool ass ending, and there's another game to continue playing, so it's very cool to me. So that was an ending that I really liked. And it's funny because the more I think about it, I think all the Cold Steel games end cliffhangery. I won't be talking about them specifically, but I want to say Trails of Cold Steel 1 was a cliffhanger too. I'm kind of remembering what happened. I think Trails of Cold Steel 3 was also a cliffhanger, because that leads right into 4. So like, I think the Cold Steel games just kind of like having cliffhangers. So yeah, maybe that's why I like the series a lot. Obviously, that's not the only reason, but yeah, the Cold Steel games are great games if you like cliffhangers. And the next game that I want to talk about is Kingdom Hearts 3. And again, if you don't want to hear the spoiler, I would just say skip to the next segment. This is gonna be the final thing I'm gonna talk about in this segment. But pretty much what happens is, Kingdom Hearts 3 is obviously like this like ultimate end of the series game. It is finally ending off the saga that was every single Kingdom Hearts game we've gotten so far. And throughout the games, you pretty much play as Sora, or at least most of the games you play as Sora. And the way the game ends is you pretty... I've only played Kingdom Hearts 3 once, I don't remember specifically, but you do the entire finale. It's Sora sitting with Kairi, which is like the main female lead. They're talking, and you slowly notice Sora fade away. And then you realize that Sora pretty much sacrificed himself to save her. and that was the ending. And I remember like I was playing, I'm like, oh, this is a good ass fucking finale, and Sora faded away, the screen went black, they started playing some good ass music, and then the credits started scrolling, and I was like, what the fuck, are they ending it like this? And later, like through Melodies and Memories and I believe DLC or some shit, you find out what happened to Sora. He's not dead or anything, but like when that happened, like that was like, I'm like, that's a perfect ending. Like that, like if the creators are able to get that emotion of the audience of being like, what the fuck just happened, I think they succeeded, and they definitely did that with me. And so that was an ending where I'm like, whenever I feel like that at the end of the game, at the end of a game where I'm like, what happened? Like I want to Google this. Like what the fuck? Like I want people's opinions on what happened. And this game did that. I think that's just a great job. And so that's just another ending where like that like is a fucking massive cliffhanger. And we found out soon after what happened to Sora again through like other games and stuff like that. But like, yeah, that's also an example. Like if that was the final Kingdom Hearts game, and they ended off with Sora just fading away and then credits rolled, I'll be like, what the hell is that? Like, what does that even mean? Like, if we never got the answer, that would be fucking bullshit. But because I know there are going to be more Kingdom Hearts games and they're going to answer the question and we're going to see why that happened, it's fine. So, like, in that aspect, like, I'm fine with cliffhangers. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I want to talk about in terms of a JRPG mechanic that I thought that was fun. Like, I know cliffhangers aren't technically mechanics, but, like, I think it's just a cool device you get to use in a story, and it always works well on me. I know it doesn't work well on everyone, but that was my hot take for this episode.